Okay, so good day my fellow taong bayan, mga Kasimor, at ngayon po pag-usapan natin yung tungkol sa quote-unquote mini trial po na tinatawag dito sa ginagawang proceedings, impeachment proceedings po ng House of Representatives. So explain ko po yung mga possible defenses and arguments dito ni VP Sara Duterte as a defendant kung bakit niya to natatawag as mini trial. And then of course, explain din po natin yung mga legal position or yung mga possible po na legal defenses and position ng House of Representatives kung bakit hindi naman daw yun siya mini trial yung ginagawa nila. Okay, so yan po ang magiging discussion natin for today. Okay, so konting discussion lang po muna tayo kung ano na ba talaga yung status nitong impeachment case. So yung last po na hearing was 2 days ago, April 14, 2026, at dun po nag-testify si Ramil Madriaga at dun din po naglabas nung big revelation yung COA kung saan sinabi nila na affirmed ng COA proper yung decision or yung notice of disallowance against VP Sara Duterte for the year 2022. So if you want to know more about that, dun po yun sa video prior to this, mas didiscuss ko po yun. Pero for today nga po, magfo-focus tayo more on dun sa quote-unquote mini trial issue. Okay, so after po the April 14, 2026 hearing, yung next scheduled po na hearing ng Committee on Justice House of Representatives is on April 22, kung saan ang inimbitahan po ng HOR is si former Senator Trillanes and the Anti-Money Laundering Council or the AMLAC. Then after po niyan, yung next scheduled hearing po according to news articles is April 29, 2026. Okay, so yan lang naman po yung pinaka-present status nitong 2026 impeachment case si VP Sara as of today po, April 16, 2026. So ngayon po, explain ko muna sa inyo kung ano ba talaga yung trial para mas maintindihan ninyo once i-discuss na po natin yung mga possible legal arguments, defenses, and position ni Vice President Sara Duterte and the House of Representatives in relation po dun sa mini trial na issue. Okay? Okay, so when you say trial po, that is part of the case or ng isang judicial process po kung saan nagkakaroon po ng review, determination, and assessment po ng mga legal positions ng bawat parties at ng mga pieces of evidence po nila. Okay, at yung pinakalayunin po talaga niyan is to determine whether or not guilty po ba ang isang akusado. So yan po in a criminal case yung ibig sabihin ng trial. So kaya po yan yung definition na in-apply ko because yung impeachment process naman po is somewhat similar to a criminal case in the sense po na this is also punitive in nature, meaning may penalty po to once makonvict talaga yung impeachable officer dun sa Senate trial court. Okay, so again, trial po is the part of the judicial process na nagkakaroon ng review and assessment ng mga legal arguments po ng parties at ng mga ebidensya po nila. Okay, so when you say review or assessment po ng legal arguments, yan po yung mga nakikita natin kadalasan sa mga TV programs at sa mga movies. So yan po yung part na nagkakaroon ng mga objection and then nag-explain po yung mga lawyers. Basta kung ano po yung usually nakikita natin sa TV, more or less yan yung trial process ng isang kaso. Okay? And then when you say review naman po ng mga pieces of evidence ng parties, dyan po tinitingnan ngayon yung genuineness ng mga documentary evidence, whether or not totoo or peke ba yung mga ebidensya. And then dyan din po itetest yung credibility ng isang witness, pati yung weight or yung value po nung testimony niya. Whether or not sapat ba yun yung mga ebidensya na sinubmit ng parties to establish guilt beyond reasonable doubt. Okay, at of course, kung hindi po yun sapat, edi hindi po ma-convict yung isang akusado in a trial of a criminal case or dito din po sa impeachment process. Okay, so again, in summary, it is an assessment and determination of the evidence and the legal arguments and or positions po of the parties in a case. Okay, so yan lang naman po yung trial in a nutshell. It is not a complicated definition naman. Yan lang talaga yung pinaka-usual nga po na nakikita talaga natin sa mga salida kung sa Binisaya pa. Okay, so ngayon po, i-discuss naman natin yung mga possible arguments ni Vice President Sara Duterte. Okay, so kaya po una si VP Sara kasi of course, quote-unquote DDS lawyer naman po yung laging tinatawag sa atin. So unahin na lang po natin yung sa side ng Duterte. Okay, so yung pinakaunang argument po na pwede sabihin dyan ni Vice President Sara Duterte is that yung nangyayari na nga po dito sa House of Representatives is not only a investigation for probable cause, kung hindi a trial already which already crosses on the evidentiary threshold na clear and convincing evidence or beyond reasonable doubt na evidence. in other words, lumampas na po sa requirement or sa mandato yung House of Representatives na probable cause lang po yung dapat nilang tingnan. Okay, so again, take note po, this is just a legal discussion kung saan ito yung mga pwede or posibleng i-argue in relation to that quote-unquote mini trial issue nga po. And kaya po pwede yan i-argue na lumampas na nga dun sa probable cause requirement is because in the last hearing po ng Committee on Justice, to be specific po yung dun sa NBI, so ipakita ko po muna sa inyo. Okay, so ito po yung part ng NBI. So I will not be playing this na lang to be more efficient po sa discussion natin, pero sa mga gusto po manood nito, this is the April 14, 2026 Committee on Justice live stream ng House of Representatives po sa YouTube account po nila to, itong pinapanood natin. And this happened around 6 hours and 47 minutes onwards, pero you can back read kasi nagkaroon pa yan ng mga preliminary and opening statements po yung NBI. Okay, so going back po to my point here is that ito pong nagpe-present ngayon is an NBI who is an expert on mga signatures, pag-review po ng mga signatures and mga handwriting. Okay? So una po, tandaan natin in the HOR level po, ang determination lang po na kailangan nila is probable cause, diba? And that has been repeatedly explained and stated po by the Committee on Justice and by the rules of impeachment po ng HOR. So when you say probable cause po kasi, ang ibig sabihin ng po niyan, pag ang isa pong tao, ang isang reasonableng tao, tingnan yung mga evidence at yung mga facts provided in a case, ang magiging reaction mo ay mukhang guilty or yung akusado nga yung gumawa ng krimen. Yun lang po yung determinative factor niyan. Probably guilty thereof po yan. Yung exact words na nakalagay po talaga sa rules of procedure natin. Okay, so going back, dito since expert na ang nagsasabi or nagtatestify, so yung pinaka-point po kasi dito ng expert witness na to is that yung mga signatories daw dito in numerous documents appears to be signed by the same person. Okay, so because of that, an expert already testified on the genuineness of these documents or of these signatures. Di pwede po yan ngayon i-argue, number one, na that is already a determination of the genuineness of the evidentiary documents na sinubmit po ng complainant. Diba, tandaan po natin when we say determination of evidence, that falls under the definition of a trial proceeding. Diba? So because of that, pwede i-argue ngayon ni VP Sara na nagkaroon ng encroaching on the sole power to try impeachment cases na dapat sa Senate Impeachment Trial Court lang yung Committee on Justice because of this expert witness na nag-review na nitong mga documents na to. Okay? And then pangalawa, since lumampas na nga rin po sa evidentiary threshold, probable cause lang dapat, pero yung pinapag-usapan na dito will fall on clear and convincing evidence nga or beyond reasonable doubt because of this expert witness, edi pwede rin po sabihin ni VP Sara or i-argue po ni VP Sara na lumampas na rin sa evidentiary requirement or evidentiary threshold na required lang dun sa preliminary phase ng impeachment sa Committee on Justice, which is probable cause nga lang supposedly. Pero dito, they already encroach on clear and convincing evidence up to beyond reasonable doubt, which is dapat nga po Senate na rin yung mag-determine at mag-review nun. Diba? Kung whether or not yung evidence ba is sufficient to establish guilt beyond reasonable doubt. So yan po yung mga possible arguments as to this. Kaya posibleng matawag talaga na mini trial na yung nangyayari sa House of Representatives. Okay? And then, isa pa po pala, idagdag ko na lang din. In this situation po kasi, since again, dinedetermine na nga yung genuineness nito ng expert witness, so pag iakyat po ngayon yung impeachment case sa Senate Court, tapos i-receive na ng Senate Court yung documents, pag tanggap po nila yon, nagkaroon na ngayon ng determination nga of the genuineness of that document, di ba? So pag sabihin ngayon ng Senate na hindi yan genuine or ipa-verify pa nila o reviewin nila ulit, ang dating niyan ngayon parang baka may ginagawang protection yung Senate, di ba? In the eyes po of the political observance dito sa impeachment process. So yun yung another issue rin na kailangan tingnan kasi yun nga, it is bordering on mini trial, encroaching on trial proper, plus the mere fact na yung impeachment process is quasi-political, di ba? So madaming mga political observants talaga dyan, the Filipino people. So because of this, pag-receive ngayon ng Senate, ay baka ma-politically persecute din yung senators kung magkaroon pa sila ng mga question and answer in relation to these documents nga na verified or reviewed already by an expert from NBI. And then isa pa po kung let's say i-present ni VP Sara yung legal position niya and evidence niya because naglabas na or nagkaroon na ng expert witness dito ngayon. So in simple terms, kung mag-rebut po si VP Sara dito sa HOR level, sa House of Representatives level, that will also now be bordering on a trial process kasi magkakaroon na ng full determination ngayon ng mga legal positions and mga legal evidence and arguments ng parties, 'di ba? So mapapagbangga na ngayon yung full arguments and defense ni VP Sara versus these allegations. Pero yun nga po, like what I explained earlier, dapat probable cause lang yung tinitingnan. So kung may sapat na probable cause, dapat tinataas na yan siya sa Senate. So yan po yung mga pwedeng i-argue talaga ni VP Sara. Because if she will be presenting all her arguments and defenses, edi parang wala nang purpose ngayon dun sa Senate, diba? Kasi nagkaroon na ng legal determination sa HOR level pa lang. Okay, so yan po yung first na tingin kong possible argument ni VP Sara in relation to that mini trial issue. And then yung pangalawa po dyan is because of the multiple hearings po na ginagawa ng House of Representatives despite them having declared the impeachment complaints as sufficient in form, substance, and in grounds nung March pa po or a month ago na. Diba currently nagkaroon na po ng isang clarificatory hearing noong April 14, tapos may scheduled pa po sa April 22 and 29. So there are a total of 3 so far na scheduled. Hindi po natin alam kung later on dadagdagan pa, diba? So pag ganyan po na may 3 pang hearings and a possible addition pa in the future despite na it was already declared previously as sufficient in form, substance, and in grounds, pwede po sabihin na yung mga ginagawa ng House of Representatives Committee on Justice, yung mga hearings na yan, is simply for trial by publicity. Para magkaroon ng political persecution on the side of VP Sara Duterte which could possibly affect her political capital or political reputation in the eyes of the Filipino people. And kaya ko po kino-consider yung point of view din ng Filipino people because of the nature po of impeachment proceedings. Diba yung definition po niya is sui generis, quasi-political, quasi-judicial, quasi-legal. Diba? So yung sa quasi-political po, dun papasok din or pwede rin natin i-argue na pasok din po dun yung mga ordinary members of the taong bayan who are political observants in the impeachment process. Diba? So kung in the eyes po of a reasonable political observant na hindi po pro-VP Sara Duterte, tapos tingin po niya ay trial by publicity na yon. So in the eyes po ng mga taong ganun, kung nagiging trial by publicity na, therefore, pwede i-argue na it is also encroaching na on the powers of the Senate to try and decide impeachment cases. Diba? Kasi yun nga po, kung sa mata ng reasonableng tao, yung House of Representatives ay gumagawa ng trial by publicity, di dapat iakyat na po sa Senado para masunod talaga yung directive na Senate lang talaga dapat yung gumagawa. Once gumagawa na po ng mga procedures or matters in relation to trial proceedings. Okay, so yan din po yung isa pang pwede gamitin na argument ni VP Sara. So itong second argument, I will be honest with all of you, medyo stretched po to na argument. But because of the nature of the impeachment process being sui generis na may quasi-political angle, tingin ko naman po, kung ako lang tatanungin talaga ninyo, dapat i-consider din po yung pananaw or point of view po ng mga ordinary members of the Filipino people. Because yung impeachment process kasi hindi lang siya purely penal in nature, diba? Kasi we have to remember, lalo na po in this case, yung impeachable officer is an elected officer. Therefore, yung mga right to vote din po ng mga sumuporta sa impeachable officer na yon ay nakataya din. It is not simply about removing that officer kasi pag na-remove siya, in effect, that is also a disenfranchisement of the support or the vote of those Filipino people who voted for that impeachable officer. So yan po yung position ko, kaya tingin ko pwede rin to gamitin na argument. But again, I will admit to all of you na medyo stretch to siya na argument. But nevertheless, I think it is still a good argument kung let's say ma-discuss talaga to sa Supreme Court. I'm hoping ma-discuss din po talaga to sa Supreme Court para mas maging klaro talaga kung ano ba yung limits ng quasi-political na definition ng impeachment process. So in simple terms po, yung point ko sa argument na to, hindi po pwede magtago sa mga legal terms or legal jargons yung Committee on Justice. Kasi di ba alam naman po natin in interviews, tinatawag po nila na this is simply a clarificatory hearing for purposes lang of probable cause. Pero yun nga po, kung sa mata at pananaw po ng mga Filipino people, ng reasonable political observance na hindi po bias, ay trial by publicity na, edi hindi po pwede magtago-tago lang sa mga technicalities. Because again, sui generis po yung impeachment process, may quasi-political aspect po siya. Therefore, yung Filipino people as the people who elect their leaders ay dapat makonsider din in these proceedings. And then yung last po na pwedeng argument ni VP Sara dito is yung tinatawag na right to speedy disposition of cases. So ipakita ko po sa inyo yung sinabi or diniscuss ng Supreme Court in relation to that dun sa Duterte versus HOR, the 2025 case. Quick break lang mga Kasimor, gusto ko lang po magpasalamat because we have recently crossed 400,000 subscribers sa YouTube. So maraming salamat po sa mga nakasubscribe na. Thank you in advance sa mga magsasubscribe pa lang. At sa mga nanonood po ngayon, hopefully you can consider liking and subscribing this video. So tandaan po ninyo, pag sa YouTube kayo mag-subscribe, 100% free ang YouTube subscription. Okay, ngayon po, tuloy tayo sa discussion. So yan, ito po, July 25, 2025, GR number 278353278359. Okay, so nasa page 3 po siya. So this one po. First, the impeachment process is primarily a legal and constitutional procedure but with political characteristics. Kaya ako nasabi kanina, dapat kino-consider din po yung point of view or yung observations ng mga taong bayan who are political observants. Diba? Anyway po, going back, it may be sui generis but it is not a purely political proceeding. This means that the Bill of Rights, especially the due process clause and the right to speedy disposition of cases, apply to the entire impeachment process. Okay? So going back po dun sa argument na gusto kong i-discuss, when you say speedy disposition of cases po kasi, dapat mabilis ma-dispose yung mga cases even in quasi-judicial and administrative proceedings. So this is a constitutional right po kasi. So dito po natin yan makikita, Article 3 Bill of Rights, Section 16. So this one po, all persons shall have the right to a speedy disposition of their cases before all judicial, quasi-judicial, or administrative bodies. So yung maganda na lang po dito, at least kinlarify po ng Supreme Court na even in impeachment, may right to speedy disposition of cases din po. So yung pinaka-point ko lang po talaga dito, since matagal nang na-declare as sufficient in form, substance, and in grounds yung case, therefore, dapat inakyat na siya sa Senado kasi sufficient na nga po, di ba? When you say sufficient in form po kasi, ibig sabihin na sunod yung form requirement na may verification, signed by the parties, and then when you say sufficient in substance, ibig sabihin yung facts ng case ay sapat to constitute an impeachable offense. So that is in relation po dun sa mga evidence din na naka-attach. And then sufficient in grounds, it means yung impeachment complaint has sufficient grounds to constitute as an impeachable offense in relation to the evidence and the facts and ultimate facts na pinrovide po sa complaint. Diba? So yan po. So because matagal nang na-decide yon pero ngayon may mga clarificatory hearings pa na ongoing, tas hindi natin alam kung magdadagdag pa sila ng mga clarificatory hearing dates after April 29, di pwede po yan i-argue ngayon ni VP Sara na there is a violation of her right to speedy disposition of cases. Okay? And then idagdag ko na lang din po in this discussion, dito rin po natin makita yung diniscuss ko before na medyo magulo po yung rules of procedure ng House kasi inuna nila nilagay doon yung sufficiency, yung declaration, yung sufficiency in form, substance, and in grounds. Tapos biglang may hearing sa baba, tas may subpoena doon sa baba. Pero after nun, wala nang period kung saan pwede mag-respond formally si VP or yung respondent to those new mga allegations sa posibleng lumabas doon sa pag-subpoena and pag-conduct na ng mga clarificatory hearings. So because of that, pwede po talaga ma-argue na yung Section 7 pababa doon sa impeachment proceedings ng House of Representatives ay unconstitutional kasi there is a room for abuse because of that provision. Nasa Section 7, yung sa may latter portions, pwede nga magkaroon ng tinatawag na fishing expedition. So yan po yung mga magandang makonsider dito. So going back po, again, i-reiterate ko lang, speedy disposition of cases, yung posibleng na-violate against a respondent in this case kasi matagal nang na-declare, so bakit nagkakaroon pa ng verificatory hearings? And because of the medyo magulo nga na setup ng rules, pwede rin mapa-declare as unconstitutional yung provisions na yon because there is room for grave abuse, diba? And then kung tatandaan po natin in the Duterte versus HOR case, ito pong kaso na to, yung Supreme Court po dito, diba, they provided a different interpretation from some terms, some legal terms in relation to impeachment. So yung katulad po dito, yung sa definition of session days, in impeachment po, dinefine nila na yung session day in impeachment is equivalent to a calendar day at hindi yung regular legislative session day kung saan kung nagbe-break lang or suspended yung session, kahit na matapos yung isang araw, hindi pa rin yun considered as one session day. Ganun po yung regular na legislative session day. But in this case, ang sinabi po ng Supreme Court, one session day in impeachment is equivalent to a calendar day. And again, i-flex ko lang po ng konti, diniscuss ko rin po yun then in the mga last year videos ko yung tungkol dun sa session days na yun. Kasi kahit ako po, nakakita ako ng room for abuse dun sa definition or terms na session days kung strictly siya susundin sa legislative aspect kasi pwede nga po talaga ma-extend ng mag-extend yung isang isang araw into multiple calendar days pero equivalent lang to one session day. And kaya ko po nakita yan because of my experience po previously as a member of Congress nung 17th Congress, kung saan isang session day, kahit kami po back then na-extend to multiple calendar days. Pero hindi naman po to the point na nagkakaroon kami ng abuses against certain individuals kaya nagkaka-extension. More on lang po yun, lalo na po sa mga budget season talaga, yung sa na-experience ko before. Okay, so yan lang po ang mga masasabi kong arguments for the side of VP Sara Duterte. Ngayon po, pag-usapan naman natin yung sa side ng House of Representatives. So yung sa side po ng House of Representatives, it is a very straightforward argument lang po talaga. Like what I've explained previously, diba yung House of Representatives kasi is an independent government branch. Sarili po yan siyang branch under the Constitution natin, the legislative branch. Therefore, they really have the power to test the limits of that power nila. Diba? At yung makakasabi lang po kung whether or not sumobra na sila is the Supreme Court via the power of judicial review. Yung power of absolute judicial review ng Supreme Court under Article 8, Section 1 of the Constitution. Okay, so yan po yung pinaka-main foundation ng argument nila. And then sasabihin po of course ng House dyan is that yung rules nila, yung impeachment rules nila is not unconstitutional. Diba? It was promulgated via the plenary and it was published and made known to the general population. Therefore, it has complied with the requirements of the Constitution. Yan yung mga arguments lang talaga nila. And then pangatlo, yung ginagawa nila is not a fishing expedition or a mini trial, kundi clarificatory hearing lang to. They are simply clarifying what is already part of the records. Yan po yung mga magiging arguments talaga nila. Diba? And then yung next po dyan, ang sasabihin din nila is that despite this clarificatory hearings kung saan may appearance of quote-unquote mini trial, ay ang layunin pa rin naman po nila is simply to establish or to determine probable cause lang, whether or not may probable cause ba para iakyat sa Senate. Hindi po nila sasabihin na guilty or not guilty si Vice President Sara Duterte. Yun yung mga defenses na pwede gamitin at sabihin po ng House of Representatives. So overall, kung makita po nyo, it is very straightforward kasi yun nga po, may sariling powers din po talaga yung Congress under the Constitution. They have a constitutional mandate also to initiate impeachment complaints. Therefore, it is reasonable and expected na talagang itetest nila yung limits ng powers na yun. So overall po, ang masasabi ko lang dito, itong case actually na impeachment case si VP Sara is a good example po kung saan nakikita nyo na talagang ginagawa ng mga legal teams o mga lawyers yung lahat ng pwede nilang gawin for the benefit of their legal position. So sa side po ng House, like what I already explained, they're doing everything they can until masabihan sila na there is grave abuse ng Supreme Court. And then sa side din po ni Vice President Sara Duterte, makikita nyo rin po na talagang ine-exhaust nila lahat ng legal remedies na meron or pwedeng gamitin in favor of VP, like yung answer ad cautelam, then yung pag-file ng petition for certiorari sa Supreme Court. Diba? So this is a battle of legal minds talaga. Kaya ako personally, I am a very heavy observant and commentator regarding this kasi constitutional law is my favorite subject in law school po. It is what made me fall in love with lawyering. And i-share ko na lang din po, ito personal, ko na lang to, law journey. Dati I was actually thinking kung paano ako magkakaroon ng career in constitutional law. So when I informed my father about that nung first year law student pa lang ako, nag-smirk lang yung father ko nun kasi wala masyadong career sa constitutional law. Nagkataon na lang, naging public interest lawyer educator tuloy ako ngayon dito via my social media. So in a way, para na ako naging constitutional law practitioner din via itong mga educational videos na ginagawa ko. So yan lang po, gusto ko lang i-share, medyo sidetrack lang po tayo. Ina-explain ko lang po sa inyo kaya very interested ako sa mga constitutional issues because again, this is what made me fall in love with lawyering talaga or the law practice. Okay, so yan lang naman po ang masasabi ko as to this legal issue. Hopefully klaro po yun. If you like more legal videos and current events, subscribe lang po kayo sa channel ko. At kung nabitin po kayo sa legal discussion, may isa-suggest po yan na 2 video sa YouTube sa inyo. So hopefully po panoorin ninyo. Okay, so until next time, see you all po. Bye-bye!